so epic.
Welcome to this reaction series, where we react to the best music from all over the world. I'm Ryan, and I've performed across 4 continents playing many styles of music. Thanks for joining me as a fellow music lover as we seek inspiration from the world's top performers.
Is this the greatest guitar solo of all time? In my opinion, yes. Here we go with Pink Floyd and Comfortably Numb. And this video that I'm about to react to was filmed last year when David Gilmour did a tour and unfortunately had only 2 tour stops in the US. He did a few nights in California and then played a few shows in New York somewhere. Comment below if you know where he played in New York. But I live kind of midway between them, and so I wasn't able to make it to any of his shows. But he is on my bucket list. If I ever get the chance to see him live, that would be amazing. But this next little clip is Comfortably Numb at the Royal Albert in London. And I actually had a chance to see a show there in 2008, and I saw Mark Knopfler play at the Royal Albert, which was a very beautiful experience. And Mark Knopfler is another guitarist that I really love. And if you're not familiar with his music and you like David Gilmour and Pink Floyd, I would highly recommend checking out Mark Knopfler. But anyways, we're jumping into some Comfortably Numb, and I'm going to talk through a little bit of it and kind of explain why I love it so much. But obviously, the greatest guitar solo is a subjective opinion, and so if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Feel free to drop a comment of which solo you think is your favorite. And here we go with Comfortably Numb. That's cool. Oh wow. Very different light show than I've seen before. Whoa, that looks really cool. Alright, a few things I want to point out are, one, this is not a pro shot video, so we're not getting the best audio or video quality, but by doing a cell phone video or a homemade video, number one, I'm able to post a lot of these without getting flagged for using copyrighted material, which is what allows me to do these reaction videos. But number two, I actually do like to get that audience perspective of seeing what is it actually like if you were there and looking down on the stage and seeing the light show. And then in this case, their light show is so stunning that it's kind of nice to just see it as it is rather than jumping around between all these cutscenes. And then I wanted to point out a few things I love about Gilmour's playing is, first of all, his tone. He's very well known for having a very particular guitar tone, which he gets from a tube driver. So it's kind of a natural type of a distortion. It's as if you took a very small amp with a tube in the back of it. There's an actual glass tube that the electrical current travels through before being converted into actual sound waves. And the tube really rounds off the sound and gives it this nice warmth and sweetness. And you really hear that in his playing, where it's clean at the same time as also being very crunchy and big. So you get this big roundness out of his sound. And then he's playing through single coils, so you also get this kind of precise slappiness to the tone that cuts through the rest of the mix really well. So he doesn't have to just crank his volume, but he has a particular tone that can slice through these really big orchestral sounds in the background. And in this case, it's these big synthesizer sounds, which Pink Floyd is also really known for. And so they get this big, epic, colossal sound that works really well in huge arenas and concert halls too, like the Royal Albert. A few more things I want to point out about his playing, and then I'll just watch it through the end. But number one, this is improvised, so I've actually never heard it sound exactly like this. Although there are certain phrases that you'll hear that he pulled out of the original recording or out of other live performances because they extend the solo. So on the album, I think it's only maybe a minute long solo, whereas when they play it live, they usually do it for about 4 minutes, and they just keep repeating the chords, and he can go off and improvise whatever he feels like playing in the moment. But the other thing that he's really known for is playing slowly, which seems kind of weird because you would think of a great guitarist as somebody who can play super, super fast, technical and difficult parts. But David Gilmour kind of defies that stereotype where he plays really slow and is actually known for his slow playing. Clapton's kind of similar. Some people call Clapton Slow Hand is his nickname. And there's something nice about hearing slower guitars on the melody where you can hum along and actually have the melody stuck in your head. So it's not just mindless notes. And I saw a tour video with his backup guitar player who was saying, David Gilmour can do more with one note than I can do with 10. And I think you'll really hear that in this solo where it's a big and epic and it has enough technicality to speak to the soul, but it's also nice and slow and beautiful. So I'm going to keep playing it, and I got to give props to their light show, which is just mind-blowing in its own right. Not to mention having such a big band on stage with such talented people. This is just so inspiring for me, so I enjoy watching this, and I hope you're enjoying watching along with me as well. So I'm just going to play it through the end. I might make a few comments, but I mainly just want to let you have this experience of what I believe is the greatest guitar solo of all time. So epic. Wow. Wow. All right, and there you have it with Comfortably Numb. Thank you for joining me for this reaction video, and thanks for watching if you're still watching at this point. This is about the end of it, but that is my favorite guitar solo, and I just love how beautifully he plays and how each note tells its own story. He doesn't add extra notes that aren't necessary, and there's a few points where he'll play two notes at the same time and let them just sort of sit together, and with the distortion that he's using, or that tube drive he's using, you get this gnarly kind of like dissonant noise And he's just a master of mixing that dissonant sound and then building that tension and release, and just creating this epic, satisfying solo that is just perfect for playing massive arenas. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Is this your favorite guitar solo? Do you think this is the greatest guitar solo of all time? Do you think it should be one of the greatest guitar solos of all time? Or do you think that there's something else? So let me know below. And be sure to subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and I will see you in a future video.